Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. This phrase here, lonely places, is actually one word in the Greek. It's eremos. And eremos is translated as lonely place, a quiet place, a solitary place. Essentially, it means a distraction-free place. Jesus often withdrew to distraction-free places and prayed. Now, what did he do when he withdrew? He prayed. Jesus didn't step back and say, hey, I need to catch up on some things. I need to run some errands. Jesus was intentional. He was intentional about seeking solitude to abide with his Father. And when did he do this? Often. Often. This was not a one-time practice for Jesus. He withdrew often and abided with the Father. And by the way, when Jesus withdrew, it wasn't at the end of everyone's needs. People were still wanting his time, his attention. They were still wanting him to keep teaching, keep healing, but he still knew to withdraw and pray and abide with his Father in a distraction-free place. We see this throughout the Gospels. This is a pattern for Jesus. Here's just a few examples. I encourage you to read these at your own time. But he withdrew before important decisions, Luke chapter 6, verse 12. He withdrew at the death of a close friend, Matthew 14:13. He withdrew at the pressure of popularity, Matthew 14:23. He withdrew before significant events, Matthew 17. He withdrew after a long night of ministry, Mark 1:35. He withdrew at the daily demands of life, Luke chapter 5. Jesus often withdrew to abide with his Father. In fact, the Gospel of Luke alone records him doing this 9 times. Now, it's interesting because a lot of us would say, okay, Jesus, he's just an introvert. Jesus just must be an introvert. Where are my introverts at this morning? Who am I kidding? You're not going to raise your hands. This had nothing to do with introvert or extrovert. In fact, the busier we see Jesus become and the more popularity he gains, the more we see him withdraw and abide with his Father. But for many of us, we do the opposite, don't we? When our calendar starts getting full, when things of life get busier, the more activities we start to do, often the first things to go are our moments of silence. Jesus knew that in order for him to do the will of his Father and to accomplish his mission, that he would need to regularly withdraw and seek solitude. So church, this morning, this raises a very important question for us. If Jesus often felt the need to regularly withdraw and seek solitude, shouldn't we? If Jesus regularly felt the need to withdraw to a distraction-free place and abide with his Father, wouldn't it make sense that we would need to do that also?